What I know is that this lady was quite comfortable in knowing what she knew. I don't know if knowledge nudged her to allow the wisdom, but she did put the brake on and knew the difference between the brake and the accelerator. What more could we want to know if we're driving a car? Wisdom brings to religious science more than positive thinking and a Pollyanna attitude and a Pollyanna outlook of, oh, ain't it awful? Ain't it grand and special? Life's so wonderful, beautiful. All of us are so perfect. We live in a 2-bedroom, 3-bath house or a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. We have a double-car garage. We have perfectly manicured lawns. We have a kitchen that looks like Martha Stewart's ready to do a photo shoot in the kitchen. There's a baked turkey on the oven hearth or the oven door. There's a marble countertops. There's just wonderful. Our house is tastefully appointed. Everything is freshly upholstered. There's loving and beautiful indirect lighting, a sound system that's magnificent, and that's a Thomas Troward sentence.
Yes.
Well, for those of you who haven't experienced in reading Thomas Troward, I want to talk a little about Thomas Troward today. He was an outstanding individual and certainly a great influence on Dr. Holmes. And we know that as Dr. Holmes was creating the philosophy that we celebrate this morning and writing the Science of Mind textbook, this is what we must be aware of and credit Judge Thomas Troward with. Not only was he verbose, he was highly skilled in thought, highly skilled in principle, and he brought to our teaching the law. Troward was a great influence on Holmes, and what we know as Science of Mind is the law part of it, is his gift to Dr. Holmes. I like to think of it as the science of cause and effect. Well, Troward was a British lawyer, and he was a judge, had a wonderful career, and was very succinct and direct in his thought. He was a wordsmith of great skill, and he expressed, as I just exampled, in lengthy sentences. I don't know, I've never heard him. I don't think we had recordings. I don't know if he spoke that fast, but I know that he certainly was detailed and punctuated and was skilled in his ability to relate the message that he wanted to have. What I can tell you today is that wisdom and knowing, heads and tails, cause and effect, like a coin, religious science has two sides. One is the law of mind, where all sorts of wonderful things and all of creation on page, where thoughts create and determine the experience. We hear often, and certainly in our new Emerson class that Reverend Michael and I are teaching, we say to be careful what we put into mind. Thoughts are things. What we tell ourselves so many times show up. So we want to be very careful as we express from our knowledge center. Well, as we determine our experience, it is as we determine our experience, we have the opportunity to change our life, to change the way we view things, to change the way we think about things. And we have the opportunity to direct the thought in a constructive, helpful way. The law works with perfection and precision. It is the impersonal side of God. Law is mind in action. The laws of mind and spirit must be understood, for if we do not understand them, we have to know that they must be consciously used for a definite purpose. We cannot meander life doing ill thoughts about things or people. We use them with a truthful, directive power and nature. That's the way it works. It is the impersonal side of God. Law is mind in action. Law is mind in action. There's no limit to the law. It's without boundary. It's without being in a box. It's free. And it appears that the only limit that we place upon is our use or lack of use of it. What I know too is that clarity is a priority and a must. Well, the other side of the coin is universal presence, which is the source of all. It is the power that sources everything, all of creation, and everything that it emanates comes from that power. This is the personal side of God, the personal side of spirit. It is in this arena that we love God and that we know that God loves us, that we live and move and have our being. I call it my safe side, my sacred garden, the space where I do my greatest thinking and my greatest good, not only for myself, but for all of humanity and the world. My love side. I live forth from this side to a state of consciousness that is unparalleled because I have directed thought in a wise and wonderful way. I use knowledge nudged, my wisdom. I can't speak for your wisdom. I know that you are capable of desiring and knowing and moving that wisdom into great good for yourselves, or you wouldn't be here today. And allow that wisdom to nudge you. If you're ever in doubt, turn within and know that you are divinely guided. Religious science, or in religious science, the law of mind is a principle that we learn to use. And certainly any of you that have had classwork, have taught, been in the ministry, or are a practitioner realize that. It is here that we become aware of God, a high power, spirit, a creative energy, a universal good. It is in this realm. God is infinite intelligence and infinite love. And what I know is that infinite is always. It will not ever turn back. It moves forward, supportive, loving, and ever attentive. Through the use of principles of religious science, we have that opportunity to live the life of choice. And choosing right action and good direction is the gift of this teaching. We are supported by both sides of the coin. That's like having your cake and eating it too. And I noticed a beautiful berry cobbler or some kind of a good cobbler on the food table today. Ooh, who's going to be first in line for that one? Ooh, that's one of the good thoughts. Through our teaching, more and more people learn that by controlling one's thoughts and giving direction to the emotional power that we possess, we can learn to convert lack and limitation into abundance. We know that illness becomes health and wellness, that failure becomes success, that we do the opposite side. We know that the negative serves no purpose. We know that happiness, if you're unhappy, that happiness is the opposite of that. That is what supports us in the principles. When our understanding deepens, when we get into the vernacular and into our knowing and practicing of the science of mind and the principles, we're at choice to make the experience that we desire. You and I make our dreams come true. No one else does. Through the power of thought, through the power of the directed thought. And we share our future by using the law of mind intelligently. On numerous occasions, I'm certain that you've heard me say, and I say it in class real frequently, that if you are not a thinking person, the science of mind and religious science would have no appeal to you. We are not told what to do through this teaching. We're not told where to go. Well, some of us might tell each other that. I'm not saying that we're so above it, we're walking on water, because we're not. But what I know is that we have the ability to make the choices that serve our highest and greatest good. And what you think, you become. As I shared earlier in the lesson, be very careful what we speak. In practicing the laws and principles of religious science, we become aware of the eternal presence that surrounds all of us in loving ways. It's like that support unit. It's like the arms of our moms used to, you know, when you fell down and did a boo-boo or skinned a knee, she'd always hug you and kiss you and make it better. That's the power of this wonderful science. It supports us in loving ways. And it also allows every attribute of spirit to be ours. Peace, power, joy, beauty, all of them. Every attribute of spirit is always ours. There's only one mind in the universe, and we all use that mind. We all use that mind. And our human mind is the use we make of it. So, what K.N.O.W. is that knowledge nudges our wisdom. Kind of like a little puppy dog, kind of hits you upside, kind of hits you at the arm, hits you in the heart. But what I want to say to you today, as we're all seated in celebration, kick it up a notch. Come true to it. It's yours to use. It truly is. As I near conclusion, I want to honor the elderberries and the wrinkleberries and bless the wisdom warriors. And last week, as you know, that I had the opportunity of attending my class reunion, and there were some what I call wrinkleberries and wisdom warriors. And I know that you probably saw that this week at your reunion too. So we know that when we allow all of this memory to come to us, that we use it in a directive power, use it in a substantial way to support, to love, and to be. I stand in gratitude and lock the treasure trove. I really do, every single day. When I walk into the center, wherever I go, I always allow Spirit to go first. I'm the co-pilot. And when I do that, I come true to that which I know. I travel each moment, and I want you to think about this. Travel each moment in the clarity, the purity, and the design that is yours. Claim it. God is in this place this beautiful morning. Always is. So beautiful beings, I know it. I feel it. I celebrate. This is the truth that I know to be mine. And I know it is yours. For the power of your present moment is the only power you have. So amp it up. And my lesson ends in love.